Hey there, everybody. Meteorologist Keith Gibson in the First Alert Weather Center. Great to have you with us tonight on the stream and also our news app and our digital news channel too, if you are streaming that via maybe a smart television or something like that. Let's get into your weather discussion this evening. First, I'm going to pop up a nice sunset taking shape in Shawano right now. Not too shabby right there. So we're doing okay here in northeastern Wisconsin. We have been watching some storms in the region. Let me pop myself up to establish that I am here in person. Thankfully tonight is the opposite of what we had last night. This is First Alert Viper Max. We have been monitoring a couple of storms across the North Woods and the UP. Those have been hefty at times. They are weakening. And we are also looking at a big batch of storms across southern Wisconsin. But for us here in our part of the woods right now, we are doing okay. And most of us should get out of the day and the night without any problems. Still is a chance. There's still a chance for a storm during the overnight hours, but we'll have a better chance for some storms tomorrow afternoon. Okay, let's go over to First Alert Viper Max and do some radar tracking, if you will. Bear with me as I'm walking over to the actual computer. So we have our Green Bay radar. As of 8:46, there is a lone thunderstorm out here between Rhinelander and Crandon. This is weakening as it is drifting to the southeast. Some of this did produce a little bit of penny-sized hail earlier and some gusty breezes, a lot of lightning and some downpours. But that is in the way of weakening right now. And there's also been a big batch of storms moving through the UP. This moved through areas north of Iron Mountain and really perked on up as it moved towards Escanaba, Michigan. That is moving away from our area, so that is certainly good news. Most of us doing okay right now in our neck of the woods. But let's go down to southern parts of Wisconsin. This is where things are very, very active. There actually is a severe thunderstorm watch until 1 o'clock in the morning for areas between Madison, Milwaukee, south into northern Illinois. And you can see this very active weather right around Janesville right now. These things are producing a lot of lightning and gusty wind. There's actually a severe thunderstorm warning until 9:15 for Rock County and for parts of Walworth County, Wisconsin. A lot of lightning, heavy rain, some gusty wind, some hail here. And this is the general direction. I'm going to put this in the motion here over the last hour, turn off some of the lightning. And this is very potent activity. It is moving to the east and slightly southeast of due east, and this is likely going to miss our area. We were thinking that some of this could actually get up towards the Fond du Lac area. Can't say that we wouldn't have some additional redevelopment. You see a little hints of that out towards Wisconsin Dells. So there is still a chance for a storm here or shower during the evening, later this evening into the overnight hours for us here in northeastern Wisconsin. Most of us probably won't see it, but I can't totally rule it out. As far as strong to severe weather for the rest of today, that is going to stay to our south and southeast, it would appear at this time. So that is the right trend that we want to have for the rest of today. But these storms down here, I'm going to kick on the 6-hour rainfall totals here. Some of these storms have produced a lot of rainfall. And remember what we had yesterday here over in the Appleton area. A quick couple of inches leading to some flooding. We've had some flooding reported around the Madison area. The atmosphere is juiced up and it's going to stay juiced up. So the heaviest rain has been down here today, and we will have another shot at some heavier rain as we get into tomorrow. And I want to just talk about tomorrow real quick and show you some storms that we are watching back to the northwest right now. These are way out here. These are way out here in the Dakotas. Check this out. North Dakota, this batch of storms way out here. Now, this is going to be coming to the southeast during the overnight hours. It is likely going to weaken and fall apart before it could even cause any problems for us here in northeastern Wisconsin tomorrow. But the cold front associated with that activity out there will be coming through here tomorrow in about 24 hours. And as long as we are out ahead of that boundary tomorrow afternoon and evening, we will have the chance for some redevelopment, strong to severe storms. So that is the big picture. It looks relatively quiet for the rest of tonight and for the first part of our Monday, but things will likely become a little bit more active as we get into the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow. Now, that doesn't mean we are going to have widespread severe weather. There is some data discrepancies from run to run and model to model as far as how many storms we will actually have here in northeastern Wisconsin tomorrow afternoon. But tomorrow, your Monday, is a first alert weather day. And so here's the thinking. We start out warm, muggy, pretty quiet, a lot of sunshine. There could be some patchy fog. So no major concerns for your Monday morning commute, but there could be some patchy fog. It is going to be a very muggy start, 60s and low 70s by midday, pushing well into the mid to upper 80s. And in the afternoon, many of us into the upper 80s to around 90 once again. Dew points in the low 70s. The dew point, or the heat index rather, is going to be in the low to mid 90s. But going into the afternoon by 3, 4 o'clock into the evening, we are just saying there will be a chance for some storms here because that cold front will be coming on in. Now, your heat index forecast for tomorrow, pretty, pretty nasty, but not the worst it could be. We've had triple-digit heat indices before and triple-digit temperatures. So another day in the low to mid-90s, nothing that we haven't had before, but it's going to be a very steamy day until that cold front moves through tomorrow night, and that will usher in relief for the middle to end of this week. We have some really nice weather coming our way, so it's looking really, really good. We just have one more day. Can we do it? Can we get through one more day? It's been a bit of an interesting weekend with the heat and humidity around. And this is the warmest time of year. And of course, warm air, juicy air produces thunderstorms. And we have the consequences from that. We saw that last night. Now, tomorrow, the heat index low to mid-90s, afternoon and evening storms, some of which could be strong to severe, bumping up that severe risk into the moderate range. But that doesn't mean everyone's going to have a storm here. Damaging wind, torrential rainfall that could lead to some localized flash flooding. That is still on the table. There could also be some hail. Very similar to the last couple of days, clusters of storms that could produce a lot of what you see here, and frequent lightning will be the main concern tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. The tornado risk is not zero, but it will remain low in this particular environment, it would appear. That's the general rule of thumb. With these storm complexes. Tornadoes, the risk is never zero, but it's always trending towards the lower end there. Wind, rain, and lightning, the primary drivers, a lot of this, with some embedded hail. We have a level 1 and level 2 severe weather threat for our Monday afternoon and evening. The level 2, which is a bump up from level 1, but let's just say scattered severe storms are a possibility here. We would suspect more geared towards far southern Wisconsin, where there's actually a level 3. And I'm showing you this because I do think that the higher odds of like a big, widespread, sweeping storm complex being hinted at some of our computer model data it wants to take it down towards southern Wisconsin and metro Chicago. Not so much here in our area. We would have more scattered activity. That's the way it's thinking right now. Consider that for what it's worth. That's what the latest trends are saying, and we'll see how things go. So here's Predictor. It actually has been doing a pretty good job today. The last 2 days, absolutely atrocious. And, I told you that here and on TV that we had very low confidence in what we were showing. This particular run and the more recent runs here, this is a different model I'm showing tonight, but it's really doing a good job. Picking up on the UP storms and the northern Wisconsin storms fading away a little bit. And then we have that big storm complex down in southern parts of the state. Now, one thing I can't totally rule out is a little bit of redevelopment somewhere here during the overnight hours as far as a shower or storm. Most likely it would be few and far between, not expecting any strong or severe weather at this point, just looking at the trends, but can't rule that out. So going into tomorrow morning, this is 6 o'clock, getting ready for the commute. We'll likely have a little bit of patchy fog around, a little bit steamy, but overall pretty quiet and a fair amount of sunshine for the first part of the day. Now, we talked about those big storms out in North Dakota right now. That would be coming southeast all night long. And as we run Predictor and pause this into about 11:30 noon, this is the remnants of that coming into parts of Wisconsin, most likely in a much weakened state. And this is overdoing things a little bit. We may have a lot of debris clouds and high-level clouds, maybe a sprinkle in there. But I think that falls apart before it can really do anything to us. The cold front comes in. by late in the afternoon and early evening. This is 6 o'clock. And two things of note. This model ends at 6 o'clock. I will have the extended version going into our news tonight at 10. That data is just trickling in right now. But it is picking up on that bigger storm complex down in the southern part of Wisconsin, Iowa, that would move towards metro Chicago, hence that level 3 severe weather risk. But up to the north, we would have more scattered activity through the UP, northern Wisconsin, and that would be moving through our area. So consider this for what it's worth. I mean, that's the latest trend, and we'll see how things shake out. Things could change overnight, but that has been a little bit of a trend I've noticed today, just looking at some of this data from the time I woke up to right now. So we've had about 12 hours of data I've kind of been combing through today, and that is the latest and greatest trend. So we'll see how things go. Now, as far as rainfall, yes, I'm looking at some of the comments here. Let's see, Cheryl saying she does not want any more rain. Her yard is flooded enough. Yes, we do not need any more rain. And we've had tons of rain in southern Wisconsin tonight. This is the moisture potential through Tuesday, but really most of this would be between now and the end of tomorrow. For us here in northeastern Wisconsin, we have the lighter greens, so the lighter colors on the legend, which for most spots here would illustrate where we would have a ½ inch or less. Now, just keep in mind here, it takes one strong storm to sit over one area for a little bit longer, and we can get a couple of inches of rain and some localized flooding. So we can't totally rule that out. It's going to be a very juicy day tomorrow. But the storm complex that is moving across southern Wisconsin and maybe another one tomorrow across southern Wisconsin would skew the higher totals overall to our south. But, you know, again, we just have to wait and see how things roll out tomorrow. So that is what we're thinking as far as the storms go. Now, for those of you focused on a string of good weather, we are owed a string of good weather, right? I think we are. Our next weather maker is an area of Canadian high pressure. This is going to come in for the middle of the week, and it will give us a couple of days, probably Thursday through Saturday at least, totally dry, mostly sunny, looking really good. And that's probably what you want to have going into Friday and Saturday. A lot of folks will be out and about doing some stuff outdoors, outdoorsy type things here, so that's good news. Now, one thing that has changed up a little bit, this cold front comes through tomorrow evening, and that will start the weather pattern change a little bit. We don't really expect a lot of rain on Tuesday, but highs will still be in the low 80s. The humidity level is going to be dropping all day long Tuesday. Much more comfortable starting Wednesday. But I'm starting here Wednesday at 4 o'clock, and if you look here in northeastern Wisconsin, there are some signs that there could be some showers or maybe a few thunder showers with a little bit of a trough of low pressure moving through the region. So I am a little bit concerned that we are going to have a little bit of rain around here for the middle of the week as this high pressure system comes on in. Typically, that would not be the case. We would have this dry air went out, but it looks like there is a chance for some showers here as the drier air comes on in, because we'll still have a little area of low pressure around. So that could gum up the works a little bit. The Fond du Lac County Fair is starting on Wednesday, and there could be a little bit of rain around for that. We'll see. But for the rest of the fair, it's looking really good there, and area-wide too. So high pressure comes on in and should give us some really good stuff here going into next weekend. Our dew points. Now, I think tomorrow, this 69 you see here on Monday, that's probably skewing just a little bit too low. But we will likely have some dew points in the 70s again tomorrow before that cold front comes on in. Typically, low-level moisture will pool and increase just a little bit right on ahead of a cold front. So bottom line, it's going to be muggy tomorrow. And then notice how the dew points get a little bit lower on Tuesday, low 60s and 50s. And then we stay very comfortable for the middle of the week. And that will support overnight lows later this week, well down into the 50s, and some spots in the North Woods could actually have a few 40s again. And that would be a nice change of pace. So a lot of folks not a fan of the humidity or the rain, and we will finally scour out the deep humidity and have some really dry weather for a change. All right, so that's what's coming our way later this week. Now, today was a steam bath. These are the official highs for our Sunday. 89 in Green Bay, 88 in Appleton. It got up to 91 in Pembine today. Even along the lakeshore, upper 80s to mid 80s from Sheboygan to Manitowoc to Sturgeon Bay. You really had to go up to Washington Island to really get that cool down here. So it was a very muggy day. It took a while to really feel that humidity because of the rain we had last night, but it was a bit of a steam bath out there, and it still is this evening. So getting into your forecast for tonight, we've got some 60s to low 70s for lows. Still a chance for a shower storm here. Most spots probably won't have it. And some of these numbers may be skewing a little bit too low tonight for the overnight lows. We are still pretty warm right now. I don't really have it embedded in the show, but let me see here. I'm going to just look at I'm multitasking here, so just bear with me here. I'm just going to look at our current observations across the region. Yeah, we're still at 82 in Appleton, 81 or so, 80-ish in Green Bay. We've got a lot of 70s and low 80s still right now. So it will eventually cool down, but it may be a little bit warmer than those 69s and 68 you see there. So bottom line, a muggy night, chance for a stray storm. Most spots are dry. Tomorrow, first alert weather day. We're looking at highs well into the 80s inland, pushing 90 in some spots. Likely a little bit cooler near the lakeshore. There could be a bit of an onshore flow there. So let's hope for some lower 80s versus the upper 80s that we had today. So there's your forecast for our Monday. This is going to be the warmest day out of the next 7. Very humid too. So just plan accordingly. We survived today. We'll survive tomorrow, and then we'll get that cold front to come on through here and give us some really good stuff. So here's our 7-day. I did bump it up to 89 versus what I showed at 5:30 on the TV side there. I think we may skew just a degree or two warmer tomorrow. So pushing 90 Monday, first alert weather day, humid, chance of storms in the afternoon and evening. That's our best chance there. Tuesday, odds of rain very, very low. Humidity is going down. It's still in the low 80s, still warm. The average right now is 81, so it's going to be close to the average, about where we should be for this time of year. Should be a pretty decent day and noticeably lower humidity. Wednesday, down into the mid-70s. Some data actually is suggesting some locations could stay in the upper 60s, but we're going to go with some 70s for now. But the dew points will be well down into the 50s, quite comfortable here. As we mentioned, there could be a few showers, maybe a thunder shower around. Many spots hopefully won't have that because if we stay dry Wednesday, it really would be a really nice day, and we just want that extra dry day, right? Because Thursday, Friday, Saturday looking absolutely stunning. I think Thursday and Friday is really a perfect stretch of weather with high pressure coming in. We should have light wind, dry air, comfortable but warm days in the afternoon with that sunshine. That sun is pretty powerful, so it will be warm. But once we get into the evening, it's going to cool down, and during the nights, we're down into the 50s. You may want to have a campfire. It'd be great camping weather, actually, Thursday and Friday. So hopefully you can take advantage of that weather. And then Saturday, 82, partly cloudy skies. 83 Sunday, partly cloudy. There are hints that there could be a little bit of rain around by the end of next weekend and early next week. I know Packers preseason or Packers practice starts next week. Not this week, but next Monday. EAA starts next Monday. So there's a lot of things, big events starting to take place here, and we're actually going to dry things out for a string of nice days here. So that is where we are headed for at least the next week, and just looking ahead to the next couple of days after the 7-day forecast, it still looks relatively tame, not as stormy, not as wet. We've been locked into a pattern where we've had these systems come on down from the northwest about every 2-3 days. It looks like we are going to change things up just a little bit here and have some decent weather for a change. And I don't want to hear any complaints if we get into a really dry spell here with lack of moisture. I know we can often do that this time of year, go from one extreme to another, and we can have some lack of rain issues, but it's going to take some time for that to happen. So we'll see how things go. But chance for some storms tomorrow, hot and humid, and then we'll dry things out and cool things down later this week. So that is, Trevor asking, why are we in a level 2 if the storms are not in the Green Bay area? Makes no sense at all. I don't make those maps. I'm just telling you that's how the maps were drawn up from the SPC earlier today. They will be adjusted later tonight at about midnight and adjusted further again tomorrow morning and about midday. And those SPC severe weather outlook maps will be adjusted as new data trends are depicted in some of our information. So I just told you what the trend I was looking at, and that's what we had earlier. So there you go. All right, so that is the very latest and greatest here. I'm going to check out the comments real quick. I appreciate you tuning in this evening, and hopefully you have had a great weekend, and hopefully you will have a great week ahead. So that is the latest and greatest here, and we'll see you on TV tonight at 10 o'clock. If not then, we'll see you another time, and make it a great week. Have a good night.